long 8-hour trip starts in Mule as we head up the interstate along the Columbia River to get to Hell's Canyon. We go through tunnels to reach our destination, and along the tree-lined freeway as we're heading east. We see we aren't the only ones with hunting equipment. Many people are heading east for deer season. We go through the rock tunnel just right before we hit our destination. Our freeway has given way to a single-lane dirt road. And then the Snake River lays out right in front of us. We pass an abandoned schoolhouse. It was used for the education of the copper miner. It's 1 foot after the other. We are trying to hit bench level before dark, since the next morning is the start of deer season. We negotiate the trail one step at a time as we try to make the top before dark. I'm finally on the skyline, but it's not the top of the ridge yet. The sun is setting over Hell's Canyon, and the canyons are very deep here, so it'll get dark very soon. We push on to try to make the ridge before darkness. A Great Basin gopher snake scurries across the trail trying to make a getaway. At this point, we haven't seen any rattlesnakes yet, but we're keeping a good eye out for them. I stop on a rocky ledge to look down on the river and take a little breather. We better not stop long if we're going to make the top before dark. Darkness is finally here as I make my way across the ridge. That night it was too dark to set up our tent, so we just laid our sleeping bags out and slept under the stars. We're up at the first crack of dawn because it's the first day of deer season. We gather a few things we need and then we head out without having breakfast. We have to move carefully because we're in deer country. We start to walk across the bench as the sun rises over the canyon. We walk across the bench and see the Ponderosa Grove. And then we see some large ears flopping up near the horizon. They lift their heads, and sure enough, there's two bucks shoving each other around. That's what we're up here for, so I bring my rifle up to firing position. My shot interrupted the early morning silence, and one of the deer were down. We take a few pictures, and then we go to work skinning. Looks like it's going to be warm today, so we'll hang the meat in the shade of some thorn trees. The meat will cool nicely in the shade and we can move on. We're on the summit and will soon be dropping into McGraw Creek to get more water. We walk clear out through Spring Creek and suddenly a big buck popped out. But he made a good getaway. As we walk by, we see a little praying mantis on some vegetation. We've crossed down into Spring Creek to look for the buck and get water. There are some watercress growing in Spring Creek. It was my first time trying it. They were pretty good. They had a nice spicy flavor to them, like cinnamon. We fill our water jugs and then it's time to climb out.
Doesn't taste too bad.
Can you get him in? I can't see him. You see?
Yeah, do you want me to pin him?
Okay.
That's right.
That rattling sound to me is something that's all too familiar.
I'll probably strike at my barrel. Take a video of it.
Okay.
That rattlesnake made a lot of racket, but made a good getaway. We could hear them bugling, and they were running around and chasing each other. The big bull was leisurely walking on the grassy hillside. He will occasionally stop to bugle a little bit. They eventually graze their way over the hill, and then we'll move on. We're climbing over McGraw Creek into Spring Creek, and we can have a good view of the old cabin from here. We had talked to some ranchers, and they said that they had pulled all their cows out of there, but there was 2 calves and 2 cows still up there. We can also see the orchard next to the old cabin. We replaced our water from a spring near where the elk were.
You see?
There's a nice little bird's nest hanging in a tree overlooking the spring.
Cherry tree.
We will take a short break next to the spring in the shade of some chokecherry trees.
How is it?
and I'll drink some of this fresh, ice-cold water from this high mountain spring. It takes us a while to fill all of our water containers. We move across the saddle at the summit between McGraw Creek and Spring Creek.
He could almost reach you. Hit him with a stick once, maybe.
Hit him with it?
Yeah. Calm him down a little.
Calm him down.
Get him again. Get him in the head.
I'll try. He's ducking away from me. Look at me. Can't move. There, I got him.
Yeah. Now pin him.
Looks like he just ate something. Or no, that's about right. Hit him. Can they spit?
No. Oops, move your gun back a little, Stephen.
This way?
Yeah.
You got him cut?
Not yet. Okay, don't monkey with that head. He can nail you with it, even though it's cut off. Okay, hold him up. Let's get his picture. Ooh. Take your barrel and pull that head off. Now just a second, I'll get focused on you. Hold him up a little higher. What do you think of him for a snake?
Pretty good size.
I stuck this stick out towards the decapitated head, and it locked onto it and ran its deadly venom down the wood.
He was bit on that stick.
I took the head off the stick to try it again and seeing if he would do it. His deadly fangs popped out and crunched
Yeah.
into the wood.
Okay, take it and bury it.
As we pass through some ponderosa pines, we see the first wild turkeys we've ever seen up here. They line up and start running up the hill.
It's actually a lot lighter compared to mine. It's not bad.
Yeah.